we're back.
Well, those eagle-eyed people out there who are looking at the beginning of the show, you can see we have 2 new cartoon Wonderbirds who are now official. So after they've been through all of the training, it's very, very hard. They have now become official Wonderbirds. And we have, as a special treat for our next couple of shows, the gorgeous Samantha Rank, who is coming to be our unofficial but official Wonderbird. So, you know, our guest Wonderbird, our Wonder Child. What are you?
Wonder Chick. Oh, Wonder Chick. There you are.
Wonder Chick.
Yes, that is our Wonder Chick. And we're so grateful to have you with us on our first show back. So, right, we're going to start with you, Sam. What's been happening over the summer?
My goodness, what hasn't been happening? So I know I spoke to you ladies quite a few months back. I said that I'd become somewhat jaded with living in London. The pandemic definitely opened my eyes to perhaps what could potentially be at my fingertips, at my grasp. And I have been a busy little bee. I say I have. I've been more of the pointing fingers and dictating to people what they should do. But I've been renovating a bungalow back in Lancashire. So that is on the verge of being complete. I've been knocking down walls again, not literally. That would be a comedy sketch in itself. But I have been making this wonderful bungalow completely wheelchair accessible. So I will be leaving London, but don't worry because I've got a lot of work projects happening in London. I had the pleasure also of working with Fern Cotton. Again, obviously Fern, she published my book through Happy Place, but I got to go and host at her Wellbeing Festival, so Happy Place Festival. So I've been off in Tatton Park, Chiswick House, and doing some comparing. So that's been incredible. Got to meet so many amazing people, listen to their journey, because obviously I get to share my own journey, but it was great to take that kind of step back and be the person interviewing.
Wonderful, lovely to have you back. Now, Natalie, what has been happening for you?
Do you know, I've had a very, very quiet time and just caught up on friends and chilled and enjoyed the garden. I'm not enjoying the garden too much at the moment because my neighbours are having an extension built, and they're very sweet though, because I went and flirted with them and said, do you mind not drilling and knocking? And they went, oh yeah, that's fine. So anyway, I've just done very, very little, but just sort of enjoyed being at home, getting some things done, bit of decorating. I had a few sessions and some very satisfying sessions of something called Cool Laser. So I have new cheeks.
And so we're going to be talking about that on our Beauty Investigates program, which is coming out very soon. And actually, Sam, we'd like you to try out some of our lovely potions and things and treatments, but that's something else we need to talk to you about. Now, Caddy, where have you been with all of your children? You've been around and about, haven't you?
Well, yes, I've been going to concert after concert in various parts of the country, which is what I normally do. But I got to go for a week at my lovely mum's house in South Wales, managed to get my daughters, well, almost all 4 of my daughters with me. And we just had a week walking up mountains and valleys and forests, and cooking with my mum, and it was just lovely. And so I feel that I'm rejuvenated. That's all I needed.
Madam D, your
Madame. Last but not least.
Obviously, last but not least, what have you been doing, Dave? As if I don't know.
As I think you may know, a couple of things that I've been doing. One is a sort of a river cruise with my friends Debbie Arnold, Debbie McGee, Tony and Jan McHale, and Debbie McGee's lovely sister Donna. And it was a complete blast, wasn't it, Debbie?
Yes, we got very wet, not because of the water in the river, but because it rained,
and because we drank a lot. Yes.
Was that a private holiday, or did you take a film crew?
It was kind of it was actually Debbie, Tony, and Debbie McGee did talks, which were absolutely fantastic. So it was a sort of a kind of a working holiday, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, with the Saga. We were guests of Saga, which was lovely. And Dee is going to do her own one next year, aren't you, on an ocean cruise?
I'm devising a 60s show. Well, I might use the title nap that you came up with, which is Sex in the 60s. I think that's really brilliant. And it's all around growing up with Thunderbirds and also singing the songs from the 60s. So hopefully, yes, would have been so lovely. And so I love doing that. So yeah, and I'm moving, which is as you are, Sam. And I'm actually putting on a gala ball on the 2nd of November at the Bloomsbury Ballroom.
I have been, obviously on holiday with Dee. I've been seeing Natalie a lot because we've been doing, getting together all of the footage for our new show, Beauty Investigates, which starts soon. Saying soon, it might not come on air till November-ish, October, but that you will know when it's coming out. And we are literally investigating, as Dee is as well, all the beauty treatments that we can find. And that's what I've been doing. But now, we've told you everything that we've been doing over the last few weeks, so we've been busy, girls. And now we are about to say hello to Jaffa, not Jaffa Cake.
No, not Jaffa Cake, but
Jaffa Moore.
Geoffrey Moore, who is Roger Moore's son, of course.
Yeah. Hello, Jaffa.
Hello.
Hey,
welcome back.
Hello. Nice to have. Thank you for having me back.
Jaffa, tell us about the auction that's happening on Monday.
The auction, which will go live on Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday? I thought it was Monday.
No, Monday's the reception. Tuesday is the auction. It's all of Roger's memorabilia and all this stuff that was sitting in a box, and we sort of felt, as time passed and the dust sort of settled, then speaking of which, the dust accumulates and all these boxes sitting in a warehouse. We thought, well, what a shame. Let's go through it. And sieving through these items, felt, we're not going to keep them. The stuff, might as well share it with some of his fans who I know that they would appreciate that. And obviously some of the proceeds going to UNICEF, the cost of making it happen. So we can't give it all to the organization, which Roger was so committed to. So yes, and I think it's time to do that. I have a couple of friends who did the same thing with their parents.
Can you give us a clue?
Yes.
Well, a box of fives.
Oh, for God's sake!
I think that was a joke. I think that we didn't expect from somebody so distinguished.
Now the thing is, if it is a box of fives, darling, we just need to know how big they are.
Extra large. The one question is, what's the one question you've never been asked?
Darling, tell us, it's Bond memorabilia as well, isn't it?
It's Bond and personal, sort of an old phone book with all these numbers, which, they've all expired. So there's no sort of breach of privacy. Pens, cufflinks, some of his ties, jackets and suits that he wore in the movies, personal clothes that he wore. There was so much stuff that you accumulate over the years. And I wouldn't say he was a hoarder, but he felt bad about throwing things away.
Yeah.
So we felt, well, listen, let's share it with the fans and partly to the organization, UNICEF.
Fabulous. Oh, and is it going online, Jaffa?
Yes.
Great. When does it go online?
It's only for 12 hours. It's on the 4th.
Okay.
It goes hot on the 4th.
Okay, so we'll put it up on our website so that everyone can see it.
Absolutely.
Well,
are you going to be at the reception?
I am. I'm going to be there. And
so we can have a real life cuddle, can we?
Yes, we can.
Watch out.
And Barbara will be there too.
Oh God, I know Barbara really well.
I know
she was
you
my
do.
mom. Yeah, she was my mom's closest friend, really.
So everybody, this is a very in conversation between these two. They're talking about Barbara Broccoli, Roger Moore. I mean, who? No, so we're just going to. We're just the commoners here, girls. I mean, really. Yes.
Barbara is such a lovely person, though, isn't she, Jaffa?
She's incredibly down to earth, incredibly generous, and
she really is.
Probably one of the most successful business film producers on the planet.
My mom used to have long conversations with her about Daniel Craig, and it was a really unique choice, but it really worked. Yeah, and he became such a strong Bond, didn't he? Really did.
Yeah.
Well, I think your dad was full of humor. I mean, as always, you know, his acting was humorous. Always, he always had a twinkle in his eye. But the thing I always think about actors who've played Bond, I mean, what happens next? You kind of have reached the top of your career, haven't you? And then what? I think that's always been one of those things.
I mean, you know, it takes a huge chunk out of your lifespan. The filming 6 months, and then there's another 6.5, 6 months of promotion. So you're sort of shaving off 2 years, and in that sort of time, you can do a commercial or a sort of a cameo on a Tarantino. But yes, it is a commitment. It's a huge commitment. I think when Craig signed up, I don't think he realized what he was signing up to.
Anyway, darling, we have to go because we Wonderbirds need to fly out, fly off.
But we'll fly over to you soon, darling.
Thank you.
The cabin.
We are
Please.
flying over to see you at Sotheby's on the 2nd.
We are.
Bonhams.
We'll be there.
Bonhams.
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 We'll be at Sotheby's and you'll be at Bonhams.
Good job you said that.
It's a fire sale. It'll be yes, at Bonhams, which is on the corner of you know, Bond Street and Brook Street, which is right next door to Hush. So, you know, we're going to go there afterwards and have a few drinks.
Good.
Lovely to see you.
Oh, best of luck with it.
Good.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, darling.
Bye.
Bye.
Lovely,
Yeah.
beautiful looking guy, isn't he?
My Bond story is, and I can't remember the gentleman who played Shark? No, George.
Yes.
George, the
George.
gentleman. And I got to meet him. I got to meet him not long before he passed away, and I've got a photo with him, and he's obviously close to 7 foot tall, and I'm 3 foot nothing. And I got this picture of him and I where we're putting palm to palm like this. I need to get it out for you, and it's such a beautiful picture because as a child, I was absolutely terrified of his character.
Now to our guest. We all know the amazing, gorgeous Sinitta, and she's here to talk about all her wonderful plans for now and in the future. Sinitta, darling, gorgeous one, come in. Hey!
How can she look
Hi,
so
darling.
gorgeous? You are sitting.
You're-
What are you doing, Sinitta? You're sitting on a what?
I'm sitting on a fitness bike because I don't know, something about having this chat made me feel like Wonder Woman. I need to be healthy, I need to be on it. So I'm on my bike.
But you are a Wonder Woman.
You could be doing lots of things, you know, moving like that.
Well,
You
exactly.
could be-
And
Exactly.
smiling would make you think all kinds of things, wouldn't it?
It would. Oh, darling, the last time I saw you, it was years and years ago, but I've been watching all the stuff you're doing, and I was so impressed with the jump. How
Oh,
did
you know what? I'm impressed with the jump. Now, in hindsight, I think, what was I thinking? Like, and especially after I saw Eddie the Eagle's movie and realized that he was actually officially the worst ski jumper in the world. And he was our teacher. Our coach.
Sinitta is going to be in Isha.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. What
So
part are you
excited.
playing, darling?
The Queen Rat. I mean, I have come
Wow.
of age and I now get to play the villain. I've played every fairy and princess that there could ever be. And that's when you know you've arrived, when they give you the villain role. So now I can have some real fun.
Sinitta, what do you want to do next? What would you like to do if you could sort of imagine anything in the world?
Oh, like business-wise? So business-wise, like what we're doing here, I just want to do everything with like 50 plus women. Sorry if some of you are not 50 plus yet, but you will be one day, so it's fine. Include you as well. Because I've realized that we are the most interesting sort of hybrid people on the planet, because we're the only ones who were around before things are the way they are now. We've got everything with the millennials, but, you know, like I recorded music on vinyl and cassette players and CDs. And, you know, my mother put a telephone box in the house so I couldn't run up the phone bill and things that millennials have never even heard of. Meanwhile, we've sort of done the big arc of everything they've been through. And look at us, we're still fit, healthy and fabulous. So we're going to be here for a long time. And we're the only generation that are going to have that kind of scale of information and experience.
And Sinitta, you're going to pause, aren't you? The menopause
Yes.
event, which we're all
Yes.
going to be at. So we'll
Yay.
see you there. But yeah, that's going to be great because the menopause was something nobody spoke about at all.
Well, no, so we didn't know what was happening to us. We all, we had to believe men who told us we sort of gone mad,
Yeah.
and we hadn't gone mad,
Exactly.
and our vaginas were not broken or
No.
anything. We were just having a menopause.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam, you see, you've got this to look forward to.
I know, and I just got to work with Davina McCall this week, so I was at a same talking event of her. She was obviously talking about her documentary on the menopause, and it was really quite interesting. And she said, that she now gets to kind of work on shows and produce shows such as educating on the menopause, and I think we really should be talking about I'm not too sure whether I'm perimenopausal. I'm 37. I know that's quite young, but again, you get told that, oh no, it's all in your head, and we need to be having these honest conversations. We need to be educating women much early on. I mean, as a disabled woman, I mean, even the obstacles that come with that, with sex and relationships, I've been kind of really gaslit by men, say that I'm the one that's in the wrong. Like my vagina is too small. I'm like, well, I am, under 4 foot tall, so I'm going to have quite a small vagina. We have to work with that. We're going to have to work with that and just, kind of go through. But yeah, this is wonderful that you're going to be championing this. So yeah,
this whole thing, 50 plus, 60 plus women, I'm calling it Sin's Angels, and we're all going down to pause. Everyone's at different life stages. Some of the women are in their 70s, some of them in their late 40s. But my path, I went through menopause and lockdown on my own, which people think, oh no, but actually it was amazing because I think it's paused for a reason, because I just literally had time out to just reflect, think, replan my life. My children are 17 and 18 now. I've been single for 8 years, and I was very happily single.
Me too. We have got to meet someone.
Yeah, because now's the time. And guess what? I've kind of sort of met someone, and I can tell you that sex is better. Everything's better. Relationships are better on the other side. So not to sort of be discouraged. Don't think of menopause as, okay, it's menopause and then die. Menopause is almost like the pregnancy for you to give birth to yourself, your grown-ass woman self at the other side. And then everything becomes amazing again.
With menopause, I think the weird thing about it is, as I don't ever remember. I remember my mother, and the girls have heard this before, and this is 100% true. I remember my mother saying to me, she was probably around 50, early 50s, saying to me, darling, I had the menopause yesterday. I said, what, yesterday? And she said, yes. I became very hot, threw off all my clothes, and I feel fine now. And that was it. So I remember thinking that was hilarious. Anyway, about 12 years ago, I was doing something in Scotland. I was doing something at Edinburgh, at the Edinburgh Festival. And that's when I started. I thought, oh, here it is. Here's the menopause. One day again, I had all this sweat, everything. And I thought, this is it. And it stopped after one day. So obviously in my family, 1 day menopause.
Well, I think it's what you expect, what you're set up to expect, because a lot of older Black women that I know don't talk about it, and it's almost as if it doesn't exist. And you come saying menopause, and they're looking at you like you're crazy. Like, what? No, because they just sort of accept it and sort of move through it, and they don't realize that it's this whole thing that a lot of women are struggling with. But I think I never had any
symptoms. I might have had depression or, those other things, but physical symptoms, I was lucky enough. What about you, Caddy? Have you had any symptoms?
Yes, I think I'm actually still perimenopausal, so I've got everything. But the worst thing I've got is that, I was talking about how I can't remember any names at all. That's why I'm just so impressed by actors who can remember names, because I can't remember anybody's name.
People are always going, the menopause, but in fact, as you're right, that is an interlude to the next part of your life, which is much more important. We're much stronger at this time. We have much, well, just a better life, I think.
We have our children are grown up, maybe pay for your homes, and it's time for you to sort of, the first time in your life where your whole life is actually about you. Yes, you might be getting grandchildren, your children might be grown up and still around, but you can actually focus on yourself rather than, oh, I've got to find a man, I've got to get married, I've got to have kids, we've got to do this. Suddenly, I've got to do this stuff is over, And it's just, what do I want to do with the rest of my life?
That I think it's the best thing I've heard for a long time.
It's a lot, but you hit the stage and mentally, like all the fog, because all the things that we're used to sort of thinking we have to worry about, whether it's our weight, whether we look like we're fitting in, all of that suddenly goes. And actually even the brain fog, because when you're not stressing about things that actually aren't really important, it's such a relief that you just you just relax. And it's
Totally.
lovely. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we'll see you at Pause. When is Pause?
So Pause is 25th of November. And I'm going to be on stage in the afternoon, I think at 3:45, talking about sex with Sinitta, because I can also assure you that sex is better because we have the confidence to get what we want, say what we want. We know our way around a man's body, know how to give him what he wants, but it's not all about pleasing the men, which I think our generation was taught as well, and, we were supposed to sort of look pretty and make the right sounds so that they felt good. Now we have to genuinely be getting ours, so we're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about sex and confidence.
Sinitta.
Yeah, it's still going to be respectful and loving to men and reclaiming our older men.
Love it.
I think we do need reclaiming, Sinitta. I mean, when they look down, most men over 60 can't even see their toes, let alone their willies.
No, we can help them with that, because I mean, honestly, you look around at 50, 60-year-old women, it's not the way it used to be.
No,
And
but men
it's
are
up to
falling
us
to
to-
pieces.
Yeah, and they either they're going to stick with us, or is it actually us stick with them, or they go and they marry someone 30 and they try and do it all over again, better this time, when actually there's something else that's even better still on the other side of it. So we're going to talk about sex with Sinitta at Pause Live. I also have tickets that people can win to come to the event. There's going to be exhibitions and everything that can help you through your menopause treatments and products and all of this. I have a code that is, I want to say Sex with Sinitta 20. Is that the code? Talk about brain fog. I think that's the code, Sex with Sinitta 20, on the Pause Live website.
Thank you.
It's not 20 people having sex with Sinitta, by the way.
Yes, not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Sinitta, when does
Next
the
bit.
panto start?
So the panto starts the 7th of December at the Isha Theatre. It's a gorgeous little theatre in Isha, owned by a friend of mine who talked me into doing it. We're doing Dick Whittington. My mother's also in the show.
Oh,
So honestly, it's going to be a hoot. It's the first time I spent Christmas in the UK for about 20 years, so it's going to be great.
Oh, wonderful.
We'll be there.
we'll be
Yeah.
there.
Well, with bells on.
Well, we'll see you on the 25th, and hopefully, Sam, if you're around, you can come with us.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I'm
wear
going
that
to
outfit because I want to borrow it.
It is lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, darling, so lovely to see you, and thank you. And we'll see you soon. We'll see you
soon,
at
darling.
Pause.
Give my
See you,
love to your
Paul.
mummy.
I will. Yeah.
Bye, darling.
Take care.
Love
Bye.
you.
I can't even cycle through 5 minutes, so I'm really, really impressed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sam, for coming. You're coming back with us on Tuesday, so it'd be lovely to see you.
Absolutely.
Well,
Thank you, girls, for joining us, and it's lovely to be back, and we will see you on Tuesday. Bye.
we will.
See you Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.